Hey guys, welcome back to Snack Time. My name is Ben, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Flink. So Flink is basically it's just a URL shortener, and there's a bunch of them out there, but I really like this one because it's super fast, very low amount of configuration needed, and can get up and going in honestly a matter of minutes, really, if not seconds. Let me jump in and show you really briefly what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to quickly install it and secure it. All right, so this is what you will get as soon as you finish setting up yours, and it'll just give you a pretty little logo and it'll ask for a URL to shorten. So let's do this. Let's just use like HTTP. Let's just do YouTube. And then we'll just do Flinkify. And once we have Flinkified this, it'll give us a QR code that we can scan. It'll also give us the URL right here that we can easily distribute to other people, and just takes you right to the site. Very easy peasy, nothing too crazy. And but one of the cool things I like about this is it does have a really cool little API, and very well done, very easy to understand. So if we click on Open API, if you're familiar with Swagger Hub, it will tell you exactly how to use this API. So let's say we want just to get some info about the site, we could just find out a little bit more information on it, click on it. We can also say, you know what, I want to try this out. Hit try out and then execute. And it'll show you exactly what the curl command. And so you can kind of craft your own API queries based off of that. And here is the actual response from the site. So I thought that was kind of cool. If we jump back to our Flink, it does metrics. It'll show you some information there. It's fun. Source code will take you to their GitHub, and then Flink will take you back home. So very simple, not a lot to it. So the installation is kind of the same way, not too crazy, but I'll show you some tips and things that I put together so that I could get my website secured. So I'll be using Docker, obviously, be using Portainer, and we'll also be setting up and using Nginx Proxy Manager. So let's go ahead and jump in, and I'll show you how to get that all set up and configured. All right, so we're going to be starting our journey of installation at this URL right here, the GitLab and /r traceio/webthink. And once we scroll down a little bit past this cute little guy right here, we're going to be looking at, here's some of our features that have been created in our product so far. That's cool. And also check this out. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, here's their roadmap. So they have a lot of things planned. If you have suggestions or anything, I find that new projects like this are always open to criticisms and input, especially constructive ones. What we're going to be needing is to start with Flink, and we're not running Podman, but we are running Docker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set this up with Portainer. So let's do this. I'm going to copy this image URL here, and I'm going to take this and place it into Portainer. I'll show you where. We go to Portainer, go into our host, into our containers on the left here. Let's create a new one. And actually, before we do that, let's do one thing. Let's establish a network for this. Since we're not using stacks, a network is not going to be created for us automatically. So let's do this. Let's go to networks, and let's go to add a network. And I'm just going to call this FlinkNet. You can call it whatever you want. It does not matter. And it's going to be asking for a subnet. I'm going to use one that I know is not in place. And that's I'm going to just do 192.168.10.0/24. So take a look at this right here. I know that most of my networks that are established are using the 172. So that's why I'm just going to use 192. For smaller networks, which is going to be pretty much just this container plus Nginx Proxy Manager. All right, once I have established that, that's really the only thing that I need to fill out. Let's go ahead and create this network. And once it's established, we see it right here. We see our IP address, all good. Now let's go to containers. Let's go to add container. Just going to call this Flink. My description. Zoom in, and I'm going to paste that image URL here, and that will tell our Portainer exactly where to get the image. So now for the fun part, let's scroll down past all of these configuration items. Let's go to network and let's drop this down. And I'm going to make myself a little smaller. And I'm going to select my FlinkNet. Only other thing I may want to change is the restart policy. Do I want this to boot up? If for some reason my host fails, do I want it to start up automatically? And I think yes. So I'm going to do restart policy and I'm going to select unless stopped. That's all you gotta do. Not bad, right? No environment variables really to speak of that we're going to be using here. There are optional ones, definitely check those out, but nothing that we really need. I'm going to go ahead and deploy this container. And after that, I need to make sure that my Nginx Proxy Manager container can talk to the this Flink container. So I'm going to need to join its network. So let's click on the Nginx Proxy Manager. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom. And right here, we're going to drop this down and we're going to click on the FlinkNet. And then we're going to click on Join Network over here on the right. Right now, Nginx Proxy Manager can communicate with Flink because it's on the same network. Now let's do this. Let us go ahead and jump over and set up our subdomain. I'm going to be using Namecheap. Feel free to use whatever domain name service you want to. GoDaddy, whatever. If you're hosting one, that's awesome. We're just going to be creating an A record, and we're going to be doing that on my SYNACK website. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add New Record. I'm going to click on A record, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to do it Flink, and that will be what is before the synhaw.com. And I'm going to copy my external IP address I have from one of my other A records, and I'm just going to paste it in here. We're going to hit Save Changes. Right. Once that is done, let's go ahead and go to Nginx Proxy Manager. Hope I'm not moving too fast for you. This is a really easy one. All right, let's click on Add a Proxy Host. And for our domain name, we're going to specify the flink.synhaw.com. All right, now it needs a host name or IP address. That's easy to find. Let's zoom back out. Let's go to Portainer. Go to my containers, and here it is just called Flink. So I'm just going to copy this guy right here. I'm going to copy that name. Go back here, and I'm going to paste this into my host name. Make sure I don't have any spaces. I don't. And now it wants my port. And that port is actually back at the Flink website. Let's go back there. And if we take a look, so the way that Portainer and Docker does ports is the first one is the port that it would be listening to on the host interface. And the second one is the port that's going to be listening to on the container interface. But we want the one that says for the container. Since we're not publicly posting this port out for everybody to connect directly to it, we're making them go through Nginx Proxy Manager. And that's kind of being our little middleman handling all that for us. All right, so we're going to copy that, and they're the same, so can go wrong either one. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and paste this. All right, and I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to block common exploits. I'm also going to enable WebSocket support. Let's hit save. All right, so far so good. Hope we're keeping up. And what we're going to do next is, since I don't want my traffic just going out unencrypted, I do want to encrypt it. So I'm going to click on these little dots here. I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to go to SSL, and I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to request a new certificate. I'm going to force it. I want to give you the option, and I'm going to agree to the terms of service, and I'm going to hit save. If you did everything correctly and in the same kind of order, you should have this window poof away just like that. If you did get an internal error, that could be that your DNS hasn't updated with all the rest of the world quite yet. Maybe you need to give it like 15 minutes. And if it doesn't work, feel free to comment down below and I'll see if I can help you out. All right, next up, I'm going to test it out, and I'm just going to click on the flink.synhaw.com, and poof, took us right to this site. Easy peasy, nothing to it. Let's test it out and make sure it works. Yahoo.com. Flinkify, and there we go. We have our URL, we have our QR code, and a pretty little preview. I don't know about you, but I love the easy ones. They're so simple and they just work, require very little effort. But if you did run into any sort of snags, hiccups along the way, and you need to ask some questions, please feel free to comment down below. And if you found this helpful and you think you might actually use Flink, give me a thumbs up or just let me know about it. All right, well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I appreciate you spending some time with me. You guys take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one.